There's a part of you that's tired of who you've become, not because you're incapable, but because you keep delaying, negotiating with your weaknesses, and settling for less than what you're truly capable of. The truth is, you're not stuck. You're just lacking discipline. You're not lost. You're simply distracted. Every morning you wake up, you're making a choice to become sharper or to grow a little weaker. There is no such thing as staying the same. While you hesitate, scroll your phone, and wait for motivation, another version of you is being created, either stronger through action or weaker through comfort. And deep down, you already know exactly what needs to change. Your mind is where everything begins. Every thought you repeat each day slowly becomes who you are. But here's the problem you believe. Every thought that appears in your head, as if it were the truth. It's not the truth. It's just your interpretation. A negative thought appears, and you accept it. A fear shows up, and you step back. Little by little, you become a slave to your own mind. But strong people are different. They don't chase their thoughts. They observe them. They ask themselves, does this help me move forward? If not, they replace it. Not with blind positivity, but with clarity. And that clarity is what begins to change their life. Your focus is the most valuable asset you have. But every day, you're losing it, little by little. You scroll. You compare. You absorb countless meaningless things, and then wonder why you feel exhausted and directionless. The truth is, whatever you allow into your mind is programming you. Every time you give your attention to something worthless, you weaken your ability to focus. Every time you compare yourself to others, you feed your insecurity. Disciplined people understand this. They do not let their minds be filled with garbage. They filter. They cut out the noise. They protect their focus the same way they protect their future. Because they know where you place your attention is where your life will go. Emotions are powerful, but if you don't master them, they will master you. Just one harsh comment, one small disappointment, one unexpected pressure is enough to throw you off balance, break your focus, and ruin your entire day. Many people think the problem is the situation, but it's not. The problem is how they respond. Weak people react instantly. Strong people know how to pause. They don't deny anger, fear, or pain. They observe it, understand it, and redirect it. Anger can be turned into discipline. Fear can be turned into preparation. Pain can be turned into strength. The moment you stop reacting emotionally and start controlling it, that's when you take your power back. Discipline is what turns intention into results. You can have understanding goals and ambition, but if you do not take consistent action, none of it means anything. The problem is, you are waiting for motivation. You wait until you feel ready, and only then do you begin. But motivation does not create action. Action creates momentum. Every day your mind will whisper, just 5 more minutes. You can do it tomorrow. You deserve to rest. It sounds reasonable, but that is exactly how you lose your potential. Disciplined people do not argue with laziness. They act immediately. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to feel exciting. You just have to do it. Because the moment you stop delaying and start taking action, your life begins to change. True strength doesn't come from short bursts of intensity. It comes from consistency. It's not about doing something once. It's about repeating the right actions every single day. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your inner trust. You say you'll wake up early, then hit snooze. You say you'll focus, then get distracted. You say you'll change, then fall back into old habits. Over time, you stop believing your own words. But when you keep even a small promise to yourself, wake up on time, finish what needs to be done, refuse to quit halfway, you begin to rebuild trust from within. And when you start believing in yourself again, you are no longer as weak as before. You become steadier, more reliable, and far harder to break. Self-control is the true test of character. Not when everything is easy, but when temptation appears and no one is watching. It is in those moments that your true self is revealed. When your phone lights up, when comfort is right in front of you, when you could procrastinate and no one would ever know. Weak people choose what is easy. Strong people choose what is right. Every time you say no to distraction, you strengthen your ability to focus. Every time you reject comfort and convenience, you move closer to a better version of yourself. Self-control is not about forcing yourself to the extreme. It is the ability to choose what benefits you in the long run instead of surrendering to temporary emotions. And it is those small choices made in silence that shape your future. There are many people who work hard every single day, yet still feel empty inside. Not because they are lazy, but because they are moving without knowing where they are going. You can stay busy all day, do many things, keep yourself constantly in motion. But if those things are not leading you in a clear direction, that busyness is just another form of being lost. That is why direction matters. When you know who you want to become, how you want to live, and what you want to build with your life, everything begins to change. You no longer work just to fill up time. You begin to choose more carefully. Choose what truly matters. Choose what deserves your energy. Choose what brings you closer to a better version of yourself. You do not need a perfect plan for your entire life. You only need to know what your next step is. Just one right direction can be enough to pull you out of confusion. Because when a person has direction, even on the hard days, they do not give up so easily. Many people keep waiting until everything feels clear before they begin. But the truth is, clarity does not come before action. It comes after action. The longer you stay still, the more confused you become. The more you overthink, the more lost you feel. Because some things cannot be understood just by sitting there and thinking. You have to move. You have to try. You have to collide with reality. You have to begin. It is through action that you slowly discover what fits, what no longer belongs to you, what is worth keeping, and what needs to be let go. No one has all the answers at the beginning, but the people who move forward are always the ones willing to take a step, even when they cannot yet see the whole path. Sometimes, what you need is not more thinking. It is taking one small action right now, because only when you begin to move does life begin to open the way for you. Patience and silence are two forms of strength that very few people truly understand, because they do not feel glamorous. They are not loud. They do not attract attention right away. And yet, they often determine whether you have the endurance to reach the end of the road. Many people give up, not because they lack ability, but because they want results too quickly. They grow restless when they do not see progress. They begin to doubt themselves when things move slowly, and then they stop right before everything is about to change. Strong people are different. They understand that anything truly valuable takes time. They do not rush to prove themselves. They do not talk too much about their plans. They do not react to everything around them. They work in silence. They endure in silence. They grow in silence. And one day, Their results will speak for everything. Inner peace does not come from life becoming easier. It comes from no longer allowing external things to control you. Many people live in constant exhaustion, not because they lack something, but because they are always focused on what they do not have. They compare, they crave, they pay too much attention to other people's lives, and lose gratitude for their own journey. When you become more grateful, you begin to see how far you have already come. You become less impatient, less insecure, less pulled into a race that was never meant for you. And when your mind is truly calm, not because life no longer has storms, but because you have learned how to stand firm in the middle of them, that is when you become truly strong. True character is not found in what you say. It is found in what you do when no one is watching. Many people try to build an image. They want to look strong. They want to appear disciplined. They want others to think well of them. But image can deceive other people. Character cannot. Character is built through the smallest choices every single day. It is keeping your word even when no one reminds you. It is doing what is right even when doing what is wrong would be easier. It is staying honest, staying responsible, and holding your standards, even in silence. Because in the end, what makes a person truly strong is not how they appear in front of a crowd, but who they really are on the inside. And when your character is strong enough, you no longer need to prove yourself to anyone. True maturity begins when you stop blaming. Stop blaming your circumstances, your past, other people, and start taking responsibility for your own life. That does not mean everything that happened was your fault, but how you respond to it will always be your responsibility. Only when you accept that can you take your power back. Because as long as you believe your life is in someone else's hands, you will always feel powerless, always waiting for someone else to change, always hoping life will get better before you decide to become better. But strong people do not live that way. They face reality directly. They accept their part. They get up on their own. They correct themselves. They lead their life in a better direction. And that is real strength. In the end, all of this leads to one very simple truth. You don't become the person you wish to be. You become the person you consistently are. It's not one big decision, but hundreds of small choices. Not one explosive moment, but quiet, steady actions no one sees. Every time you choose discipline over comfort action, over delay silence, over reaction responsibility, over blame, you are building a stronger version of yourself. And on the other hand, every time you compromise with weakness, you are creating a weaker version. Life doesn't change just because you understand something. It only changes when you start living differently. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Because when you hold your standards long enough, success is no longer a possibility. It becomes inevitable. And at that point, you don't just change your life. You become the one in control of it.